Right, right.
and let you know that, hey, we're recreating it. It might cost you $700, how much you're paying right now for it. But when we do this with your Part B premium, everything added in, we're only looking at 350,
So,
360.
and the other component is, since you're talking about a standalone plan, you're getting them a Medicare supplement, you're getting them a life policy. That's what you should approach versus sub and life. Um, you don't have to sit there and really curtail it. If you're creating an overall experience for somebody, right? They're already working on a need that they need to go ahead and fulfill, right? And if they're calling you for that, or if you're calling them and that's what they're engaged in, then what we're looking at is, okay, oh, I don't really worry about this. I really worry about dental. Well, let's talk about everything. You got to keep the funnel really wide, and you don't have to address that and have that argument early on. When you do the discovery questions of what do you have right now? Is it a group plan? Is it an individual policy? Do you have dental? Do you have life? Do you have this? How much do they cost? What are the percentages? Oh, you don't know that? Do me a favor, go get your card. Let me know. What we're doing is not only are we saying, hey, we need to know this to help you make an informed decision. What we're really saying is, you should know this, right? You should know this, and we should know what these things are. Now that we've talked, now that you're thinking about that, let's go ahead and put it together. So every conversation you could have, like if you're doing subside, you can have your G plan, your life insurance, and your dental, standalone dental, and then a drug plan, right? Those two components there get you usually what you have on a retiree benefit plan or an active employer plan for less than you would pay for those. So if I'm already putting you in a better position, period, let's talk about how good of a position I can put you in that's still better than what you're dealing with right now. So it's not my place to sell someone something's not worth something. It's my place to go, let's focus on the important things first. We all know that covering the health expenses, way more important than covering a crown, long term. They might have a crown they need right away. You got a sale coming up?
Yeah.
Go make that. We keep on doing these things right here. So everyone keeps abandoning me to go make money. No, it's a good problem to have. So if I'm going through here and someone talks about it, right, they should already have an interest in it. And then it's just a matter of fact. This is what it is. And it is this much. That's it. Becomes a lot easier if you're bundling in a package with a brand new person to Medicare.
Yeah.
Right? This will cost this. Grand total is this. You're saving X amount of dollars. Then it's just gravy.
Right. My struggle is when I've helped them long ago with a stop, or they've been helped by somebody else with a stop, and now they're looking for some dental coverage to see if it's even worth it to them.
Well, a lot of that can be in the extra perception right now. I mean, and also how you present it. If you don't look at it and go, oh, that's pretty good compared to what I have, right? And understand you're in your 30s. It's a different world for you. And go, okay, hey, I actually see value in this, right? And you're not going to be able to convey it. You shouldn't sell anything you don't believe in, right? Because A, that's not what you want to do as a good human being. But B, how are you actually going to be able to convey, especially over the phone, that this has value if it comes over in your voice that it doesn't, right? So knowing about how dental works, knowing about what cost of dental procedures are, or some of these are PPO networks, that's actually great. You go to a dentist, and okay, well, they can either bill them directly, or if they don't want to, you still get the reimbursement back.
I like Jacob's idea of picking one company who has really just stellar plan and just getting really familiar with it, so I can, what I can stand behind. Maybe have others as a backup, but just be really strong with one.
Well, and that's the value proposition that Jacob has in his mind, because he actually laid it out. He's had more surgeries by the time he was 18 on his palate alone than most of us will have in our entire bodies, our entire life. He saw what it did to his family to have to pay for that and that dental thing. So for him, his threshold of what value is really high.
Yeah.
And that affects what he thinks. I'll never sit there and go, Jacob, man, you should. No, I mean, I'm not going to change his view of the world on that. Do I agree with it? And he said, Frank doesn't agree with me on this. I don't. Right? Sometimes a little bit is all they need.
Mhm.
That's fine. It doesn't have to cover 3 oral surgeries a year.
Right.
For him, it did. And that's what he sees value in.
Mhm.
But that's also a lot more expensive than a guy that just has a bridge or a partial that needs to be done every 5 years.
Mhm.
Again, it's just a matter of, I guess you could say it's like empathy for someone that don't have the extreme needs that you do.
Mhm.
That's one thing. People always go, I'm trying to empathize with somebody that has all these real big problems. Well, on the same note, you can have those real big problems and empathize with the viewpoint of someone that doesn't have them. Right? Oh, you should get this because it covered all this stuff for me and it's $100 a month. Well, I just have this cap that pops off like once
Right.
every while and I don't want to pay $300 a month for dental.
Mhm.
Well, maybe you need one that's $30 a month.
Yeah.
Or 25. I mean, they can get really, really inexpensive.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's a conversation you have to have with the client, you know, and that's the thing. We can guide them, right? And once you get that established relationship, we go, this is what you should do. Ultimately, it's going to be their decision.
Yeah. No, but I like your order sequence, which is the meds up, the life, and then the DBH.
Right.
Because you don't want to get them in the mode in the beginning of DBH. I don't see any value in that. It sets the tone for the rest of the stuff.
Well, and there's also a lot of people like Jacob who the real issue is that he just doesn't want to go to the dentist.
Mhm.
It's traumatic to him.
Right.
It's very traumatic to him. And it goes with life. There's some people that don't want to even talk about life insurance or death because it's been traumatic to them.
Mhm.
What are you going to do, right?
Right.
Your only real hope at that point is that maybe their maternal or paternal instincts or their community instinct to socially protect the tribe is enough to go, hey, I really am terrified of the concept of having to deal with this trauma again, but that is overridden by my urge to prevent the ones that I love from having to go through the same trauma.
Mhm. No, and that's a good phrase to use, to help them to sort out what's probably going through their mind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, we talk to people all the time. They're absolutely okay with their life situation. They're not okay with that life situation being put on their kids. They're not okay with that step back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, So it's just one of those things. And that's the conversation, is that you have to actually give them little tidbits to where they explore those concepts and ideas. And in the course of your conversation, it narrows down into a singular solution that fixes these problems. That's why there's sales funnels. They start off broad. Start talking about everything. Get to the things that you need to go to first. Start off with a supplement. Then go to life and dental. And if they say, oh, I'm really interested in dental, fine. You're really interested in it. We'll get to that. Let me ask you about this one too. Do you have that? Yeah, I already got it over. Okay, fine. Move on. They'll bring it up later. Or they know I don't see a value in that. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. No, that helps.
Yeah. They're not going to ditch you. You're doing the work. No one else is doing the work. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and get you this PPO Advantage plan. It has great dental. And then, by the way, they don't care. They don't care because that's not what they're looking for. And they don't care because that's not where they see the danger that they have to cope with. So I guess we can go into the whole thing of, which I find it very ironic as I sit here and preach to you, that we need to stop telling people stuff and we need to start exploring conversations about what they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Because telling ain't selling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Yeah, because I've come across where somebody said they were looking for a better plan, and maybe there was one ranked above theirs, but it was only because it offered more dental, and they're like, I got dentures, I don't need nothing. I'm like, well, then even though it's ranked number one, actually yours is really number one for you.
Right.
Because I listened to what they were saying to me.
Right. You have to listen. You have to have those conversations. We say it a lot on our floors, like step one to really being great at sales is to stop selling.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what you think is awesome, you don't know what they need until you start talking to them. That's their button. That's their trigger. And without that conversation, without an open conversation, you're never going to know about it. And you'll just be hawking stuff and they will always go, yeah, let me think about it.
Right,
I don't think it's really worth that.
right. Or maybe they'll take it and somebody else will steal them away the next quarter.
Oh, they always will.
Yeah.
You should never sell on price.
Mhm.
When I hear people going, well, this is the lowest price. Well, are you looking for the lowest price? Or are you looking for the best option? You know, that's why those selector questions that we put in after discovery questions, we're not doing those things. We're not asking, are you looking for, you know, just the lowest price right now? Or are you looking for something that has a better chance of being a better value, lower price long term? We want you to start thinking about that. And I want to hear you say those things. Are you looking for a stable company? Or are you looking for something that might be brand new if it just saves you money? What's up? Come on in, man.
Just observing.
Oh, dude, you can come on in. You don't have to say anything.
So this is, you'll just take this type of like afternoon and just shop talk.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity. Some people are breaking from lunch. We usually we have some stuff to eat. Go on out, grab a seat. Grab a seat. You know, it's a good opportunity to ask questions. It's an open format. There's no need to be right or wrong on anything.
Yeah.
And you can have real honest conversations about, you know, sales.
One of the first things that I was just thinking about is, I know I can't touch on any real numbers, but if I was explaining, say, a Advantage plan, is it okay if I, you know, use really vague type of like a ballpark? Like, in other words, you know, so Mrs. Smith, you know, you might have a, you know, $10 copay for a, you know, doctor's visit, a $30 copay, you know, or just, you know, kind of explain those with vague numbers, or just try to stay away from them in general.
Ask them what they want.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? That's the key. Right now, because this is literally your first day here on the floor, right? It's Monday. So thinking about how you're going to approach that stuff before you get into it, in this point of your development, yeah, it's unnecessary. Because you should really get good, and what we're training on you right now is to get engaged in a conversation.
Okay.
All this stuff is academic BS until you actually can get good at engaging in a conversation. You have to get them interested by being interesting, and you're only interesting if you are interested. So you have to get there and start talking to them, seeing what's going on with them. Talk about their lives, talk about what they want to do, talk about their problems. They want to tell you, I'm trying to get this done because I had an ablation done, and fantastic. You're giving me problems I can solve, and I can solve problems, then we're all winning, right? So that's what you got to worry about. Don't worry about describing a product. I have said this many times. No one cares about the product. They don't. They care about the fact that you care. They're not just looking for a plan. They're looking for a guy or a gal that's going to have their back and knows what they're talking about. And if you know you can't know what you're talking about with an individual client unless you find out their individual situation. Right? There's like 50 Advantage plans in every zip code. There's 40 companies that offer Medicare supplements. There's plans A through N. You know, there's all these ins and outs. Right. So to find the perfect solution for you at this time in your life, what you need, I need to know about you.
And that's why I don't even say who we are until pretty late in the call, because I'm like, you want me.
Right.
I'm selling me to you.
Right. You're the one that cares.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as an organization, right, we do care because it's part of our mantra, but realistically speaking, the organization is inanimate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's staffed with people that care. It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Who cares? You're not talking to our logo. You're talking to me. So focus on that. When you don't, Victoria, you take this. You just started here not too long ago. It's been a few months.
They've got an angle. They're coming into this with their mind knowing, you know, I want this or that, or what can I get out of it? That's why they're on the phone. They're looking for something. Yeah.
Maybe some people just.
Sometimes they're just like, I don't know, I need help. But
I don't
know what with.
Yeah. I'm 65. They sent me a letter, and
Sometimes they're paralyzed and frantic. They're losing their work benefit. Sometimes it's literally just a matter of, my wife told me I have to do this. I don't want to be doing this. What do you have? There's whatever their motivations are. We get to their motivations to see where they are. So, I mean, discussing the plan options and discussing that is secondary to asking them what they're looking for and
Lots
needing.
of discovery.
And when, in your point, the whole reason we have this set up is that you take the notes and you get that information and do the discovery, because that's the hard part. You have to get really good at that. And then the guy who's coming over here is going to make the recommendation. You're going to see how he's going to apply what you got. And that happens like that. It's like a minute. But that's the whole key. I mean, that's the easy part.
When I get to that, so when I merge the call, I don't necessarily hang on the call. I gracefully bow out, and then get that headset.
No, what you do is you tell them, I'm just going to mute myself. I'm still here.
Okay.
You're still there. You're maintaining that relationship and that continuity of call because you are their guy. At this point in your training, if you send it over to me, I'm the dry, big, bad wolf. I'm the guy they have to get through to get the thing that they need. I'm not a mean person to them by any means, but really the relationship is yours. You're advocating for them. And I'm the one that goes, well, if it's this situation, this situation, this situation, if it's a Medicare supplement, it's going to be this one. And it's the best price, best value, best whatever thing you put in there saying that they need it. And I'll make the determination based off that. And then I go, not sure if you can get it.
And
Let me ask
continuity of the call
questions.
is very important. And right, it's like, because they've already probably, very possibly they've already gotten transferred around to get to you.
Right.
I just say, hey, you know what? So there's a couple of ways I'll do it. I'll either say, you know what? I think I'm seeing the plan that I would recommend for you. But I have this guy, his name's Frank. He's just the best in the biz. I'm going to bring him on our call just so we can get a second set of eyes on it. I really like him to take a look. And
He's got the
yeah,
experience.
and so let's just bring him in on the line. And it's like a nice smooth,
Right.
I'm not sending them anywhere.
You
I'm
don't
not
put them
going
on hold.
anywhere. Right. Yeah.
People think that putting people on hold is like, I don't want them to hear me now. No, they want to hear it
Yeah.
because we're in this together,
Mm-hmm.
right? Too many people with these IVRs and all this other stuff. Here's the worst thing in the world. Try to handle something. Like right now I'm handling crap in my apartment complex. I hate them because I constantly get passed on to the next person. I'm not anyone's problem. But if you stay on the phone with them and bring someone else to conference call them in, I'm not passing you on. We are coming to a solution together, and I will be with you throughout this entire process. Period. I am not going to leave you alone. You are not a problem for me. You are the sole reason that I'm doing this. People love it. And you know what? They don't get mad.
Yeah.
They don't get pissy.
No, they don't.
They go, wait, well, how am I going to get mad at you? Because you're experiencing it with me.
Actually, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, really? You're gonna get like the head honcho on the line?" I'm like, yeah, he's, we're gonna bring the top guy.
Right.
That's what I do on MAPDs, and usually I haven't done any subs in a while, but for subs, he's my secretary. I mean, my.
You want some coffee? I can go grab you
Want
some
some
coffee.
coffee?
Oh, do you want? No, do you
That's
want some
another
coffee?
joke for another day. Anyways, I'll call him. I'll say, you know what? Because I'm in the script, you're recommending the G, so you're already recommending that, and you'll see that you do that. And then to bring him on is, oh, you know what? I'm going to bring my pricing specialist. He's really good at like digging for discounts and really making sure we're getting the lowest price. So let's just bring him in just to make sure we're not missing any discounts and things for you. And so I'll bring him on the line. That's usually how I do it.
Yeah. And that's a good transition because one of the problems that you encounter in a lot of sales training is that most sales training is made by people who love facts and figures and details and, like it has 32,000 square feet and blah, 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 and 5 bathrooms and all this. Realistically, hey, I have good school for my kids. Is it walking distance from an amenity? Is it going to be safe? Am I going to have problems with it? Well, it's the same thing with insurance. But the problem is with insurance is that insurance isn't a thing. It's a service, right? Because we're talking about a service and we're talking about a promise, I'm literally selling a promise. That promise has to be believable, and no promise on a piece of paper is ever going to be believable. So we got to get out of this conversation of, well, this is how you go, we do scribble pad and we go through all this other stuff and we talk about this. Man, none of that's going to matter. I went through one day and I watched the guy explain low income subsidy. And by the time he had written all this stuff down, trying to explain to other agents, it was unintelligible garbage. Right? Everything he wrote on it was absolutely true. Unintelligible garbage. And I will tell you right now, no clients ever care about that. It's already confusing.
Yeah.
Right? That's why when we do our A and B, it's very simple. Take complicated things and make it easy.
Very visual.
Right. Make it easy. That's part of the goal. Anything that's super complicated is scary. And the reason it's scary is because probably not going to work out. Complicated systems don't work. So I guess you could say, man, just keep it simple. Focus on the relationship, get what they need. You will be exposed to that process and realize how minimal closing really is.
And just make it smooth, because like one thing, and I remember I would hear Tim do it for a while, and I'm like, you know what, that's great. So even though you're not allowed right now to give out prices or make the solid recommendation of like an MAPD, never say, oh, I'm gonna let some Jacob talk to you because I'm not allowed to give prices, or I'm not the agent, or I'm not
That's a no.
right. And,
Well,
know,
you are.
It's
Well,
cold
first off,
water. It's a
Right,
it's a dip in the
because-
cold water.
Right.
because
And
there
by the way,
people
you
who-
are a licensed agent. You're
Right,
just
right.
training right now.
yeah, never say, well, I can't do it, or you know what, I'm not allowed to. Not saying the truth, but I've heard that on the floor before. And then the person is like, well, shit, who have I been talking to the whole time? Somebody's not even an agent or even qualified to tell me this stuff, or it's just it's like I said, making it smooth.
Here's the thing. As a licensed agent, legally speaking, if you're licensed in the state you're operating on, or I believe right now you're licensed in 18 states, which is what we have calling, legally you are allowed to do all those things. In this process,
I don't
You-
need to.
don't need to right now. You have to that's why we have that process of agent apprentice while you learn this hard part, which is the first thing, building the rapport, doing discovery. Then you get to see the quick part on every transaction you make. By the time your final appointments come in and you're ready to roll solo, man, everyone wants to focus on the close, but that's not where the sale's made. Gimmicks don't work.
Because then you shortchange yourself in discovery. 'Cause
Right.
You're like, I want to save it for when I close.
Or you want to pounce on the thing you think's important.
Right. I'm gonna rush to the close.
Oh, you don't like your doctor? You don't like your doctor? Let me go with you. Nope, that really wasn't what they were looking at. They don't like their doctor because their doctor said they need to go get this test done, and the test costs $5,000, so they want to get the test covered. Right?
And also, when you get to that point, I think for me, like when I get to that point with someone, when it sounds like they're ready to, that's where I have to make the transfer. That's it.
Mhm.
She's ready to go, or he's ready
Right.
to go. All right, here's Alex, and he's got the list, and here we go. I'm going to bring him on.
Yeah, bring them on. I'm going to stay, but make sure you understand, and
I'm going to be on the line.
I'm going to stay on the line. I'm going to mute myself, but I'm still here with you. You have to be with them. Being with somebody, handling it, going through this journey with them, right? Because basically what we're doing in every sales process is just recreating the hero's journey. You're their guide. You're their wizard. You're going to be with them every step of the way.
That was such a neat thing.
I'll show it to him here in a little bit. We just got his paperwork signed today.
It's not-
That's one of the reasons why these things and concepts come up. We haven't even gotten into the basics
It'd be
yet.
nice to get through, 2 weeks from now to stop and say, all right, well, here we go.
It won't even take 2 weeks, man. It won't. It takes a day or two. This is another concept that goes through. Everyone wants to sit there and go, we have 22 days of training in classroom. We have 3 weeks of training in classroom, 2 weeks of training in classroom. I'm not saying that classroom training does not have value, but if it's done only as a classroom training, and that's what we think can train people on sales and the art of a human interaction, we are in a lot of trouble. Economically speaking, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because it's just not the way it works. It has
And
to be
even after
repetition.
all that training, you get thrown out there on their CRM, and you still don't know what to do because you've just been watching somebody do it. You're not doing it yourself.
You haven't had the reps. I got to get you reps.
Folks have a different learning curve to take someone that hasn't been on the phone as opposed to, everyone's got a different look. Like me, I don't have much supplement background, so that's going to be where I'm going to need to beef up. I understand them. I can get through that process, but over these next couple of months to really, get into the kind of figures or, outline of those plans, starting to really know the inner workings of plan A and N and F, and just that. Yeah,
And by
really know
you
them
reading the
inside.
script and teaching them, you will learn so much yourself.
I'll put together,
Yeah.
Like for Advantage plans, I'm pretty much like I have a really good idea about what outpatient surgical cost, ER copay, like the basics of a lot of those pieces across the board for a lot of carriers. And that's the fun thing about Advantage because they have that type of structure. They're pretty similar all across the board. But I need to dig into the supplements. That'll be my
It's a very shallow dig because they're so highly standardized.
okay.
We'll go into the details of it, but basically you have to look at a supplement like you have Medicare, which is an insurance, right? And then it has its own copays and deductibles as an insurance, and a supplement just comes in and pays those copay and deductibles for you.
So could I
That's all
kind
it
of
is.
compare it like this? If I were to look at how I would look at an Advantage plan, and then just with those kind of bullet points, the supplement covers them.
You want to break
ultimately that how
yourself
it's
of
gonna-
thinking about, and you have to stop breaking yourself and start breaking yourself and divorcing yourself the concept of I need to think about this from an Advantage plan world. An Advantage plan is either going to be an HMO, PPO, or PFFS option. That is it. RPPOs, all these other things are just variations of that. Either I have a strict network I can't go in, I can't leave, and because it won't pay, or I have a PPO network which you can go outside a network and I have higher copays. Provider fee for service has no network because these providers just accept that fee for the service. Okay, so Medicare itself is a national provider fee for
So-
service.
I think I know where you're going. It's basically any doctor that accepts Medicare. So
Medicare is the one that handles the claim.
okay.
Medicare supplements, after that claim is processed and approved by Medicare, the remaining amount goes to the carrier to pay instead of you. Right? It goes to them first and they pay their thing.
Yeah.
Medicare Advantage plan, Medicare is not handling that claim. Your benefits under Medicare have now been assigned to United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, whoever, Aetna, Cigna, whoever.
Okay.
They're now processing the claim. Medicare is not into that. And because of that, Medicare is going to pay them anywhere from like $900 to $1,400 a month to just deal with Medicare.
Yeah.
So with that, there's a trade-off, right? You don't want to. My mom,
Yeah.
she's getting a Medicare supplement plan G. That's it, right? If we were really poor and qualified for dual special needs plan and the state was stepping in and paying a lot of the out-of-pocket costs, then yeah, Advantage plan's fine. But that's not the case for me. I am not poor. My mom is not poor. She will never have to deal with that. So I'm getting her a G plan.
So
Now,
that's the
what
way to
about-
go is it's in the budget.
Right. And even then, because we're not in a situation and she's not in a situation, especially with her retirement, well, she'll ever really qualify for DSNP. Well, if that's the case, even if it was a lower budget issue and she couldn't afford $150 a month, what am I going to get her?
Sunny boy would step in.
I would step in, of course, but also, even if it was me, I'm getting a high deductible G plan,
Right, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because my value is my value things I value, which is A, I don't want a headache. B, me personally, I will be damned if an insurance company tells me who I can see. I am not messing with that. I'm also not messing with the inconvenience of having them just not take my plan in the middle of the year. Right? Or just all the little rules and the administrative nightmare that's there. I'm not messing with Advantage plans. They're great for certain people, not for me. And that should carry a little weight because I've helped out thousands and thousands of people with Medicare, and I'm going to choose that one.
Mhm.
Not saying the other one isn't good for certain people. We write a lot of them. Not for me. So
Interesting, yeah.
But those selector questions will help you figure out which path to lead them down.
Yeah.
and also the selector questions aren't really necessarily what path to lead them. They are there too, but it's also to get them to think about this.
It's just starts kind of, yeah.
If I give you
giving some
if you came to me for advice,
Yeah.
right? pick a topic that you're dealing with right now in your own life.
Okay.
Seriously, just pick a topic. Pick something that's a headache in your life right now.
I'm dealing with car insurance because I got a scrape on my car.
Okay. So you're not happy with your current car insurance, or it's being a pain in the butt?
It just is. Actually, the more trouble is the fact that I didn't engage the parking brake at the gas pump, and I had walked away from the car and it just kind of rolled into one of those little pillars on the edge. But that being said, so it's not too troubling of a headache, but it's still a chore. It's just a chore.
Okay.
I
Now,
feel like signing up for, doing all the Medicare homework is kind of a chore for probably folks as well.
well, I mean, let's talk about Medicare homework then.
Yeah.
All right. You have the option in our system to not do any homework.
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at the if-then proposition of that. So when we're talking about the things that need to happen, are you looking for an immediate paycheck right now, or are you looking to make six figures in the next 18 months?
Yeah. Marathon.
Marathon. Okay. Now, are you looking to have longevity in your client base, meaning that I only have to sell them once and I will still be paid on them for the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years?
That's ideal.
You don't have to swap them every year. Okay. As far as not just retention, but customer satisfaction and happiness, do you want these guys constantly pinging you because the actual system isn't working the way it should or the way they think it should? Or do you just want the clients to be like on autopilot because things are working out great?
Yeah, if they call me, I'd like them to just be calling to
Say hi. Yeah. Okay.
This is great. Oh, it's working out.
Right. Right. So, and do you want to be in this? Are you okay dealing with, as long as it's profitable in the short term, are you okay dealing with like fallout of people like, let's say, are you okay directing people the wrong way as long as you weren't intentionally misleading them?
Would I be happy to?
Are you okay? Do you want people to just know, do you want to know that after every conversation that you've had with them, that that they're on the best course? Or are you okay having something that might be a little bit of a gray area? As long as you're coming with good intentions, are you okay with them not being in the best option because you didn't know what you're talking about? As long as you were earnest about it.
I mean, somewhere in the middle. It depends. Like, hopefully.
No. This is either or.
If
do you want to know after every conversation that you did your utmost for it, or are you okay having some ambiguity over there as long as you had good intentions? Do you want to know that it's handled right and was handled to the best of your ability?
Yeah, that's the ideal, because even if I were on the other side, hopefully I'd be working in the right direction.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you want to have long-standing clients. You want to have long-term financial gain from it. You want to have people that are happy. You never want to have to apologize to anyone because you made a mistake, right? You want to do all those things. Well, if that's the case, then you need to study. And that's it. You don't have to study. You don't have to do this on your own time. But if you want all of those things, you're going to need to do that. And that's what selector questions are, by the way. I ask you things that actually they're kind of like, no kidding. Like, do you want to go see your own doctor?
Yeah.
Or do you want an insurance company to tell you where to go? He's going to go, I'm American and I want to go see my own doctor. Great. You can't make the assumption that they know about it, even if they said they know about it, until they say it, until they actualize it. They're going to go, yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. No, I want to know, are you okay doing this, or is this it? One is roses and everything, and the other one is the most restrictive possible situation. Well, guess what? They're going to pick the roses, and you go, if you want X, Y, and Z, and you want the world to be a better place for you and not have to deal with these pitfalls, then it is this option, and that is it. And then they go, that is the only option that will ever suit my needs. How do I get that thing? And it's the same thing we do to you on the floor. If you want to have success, you want to do all these things, I'm not holding your hand. You will do X, Y, and Z under your own volition. And if you don't,
I wanted to ask, so that spreadsheet with some of the carriers, now can I click on there and see the products?
of course, but you can also see all the products inside your CRM. You just have to get to the right stage of it.
Okay.
So we're going to go through.
The quoting tool will have that.
Quoting tool has all that stuff in there. We're going to go through all of that stuff in detail. Like I said, it's your first day.
Yeah. So I'll have to take that.
And speaking of it,
Thank you,
speaking
ma'am.
of which, I think we're also going on here. So what else do you want to talk about?
That's all. I just felt like dropping in.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's great having you in here. As you can see, it's an open topic.
Yeah.
You know.
So what? A couple times a week, just drop in.
These go on for the time being. They're going on every day.
Okay.
So It is optional.
Pick and choose, yeah.
Pick
See
and
some
choose.
other faces, hang around and just,
Or, really, if you just have a question,
Yeah.
right? And it's going to be something that's more than just like, hey, Frank, what about this button to push or something? It's something you want to know more about and go into detail. These last as long as they need to last, because they're ultimately there to make sure that you can do deep dives into advanced concepts, whether it be product-based or sales-based. So these are there for you. They're not everyone's in here, as you saw.
piece by piece is for me being brand spanking new, so little by little, just pieces and pieces, like you say,
Right.
give me a couple calls and then a couple more calls and, work on.
You can't eat a big meal all in one gulp. You're going to choke. I got to give you bites. And this is an opportunity for everyone to come in and experience this and actually ask questions and get in-depth answers on the concept that they're thinking about right now. So that's why we have them every day, is because you can't sit there with a notepad and go, I want to ask this question a week from now. No, you have the question now. Let's take this time. Usually it's Brandon who's sitting here answering them. He's great. In this case, I'm just filling in. But just be aware. And this also goes into this. We're on the floor with you every day, right? All of us are here to help you. You have to ask, because they're not going to jump in.
Okay.
So you have to ask. We're sitting there. We're live listening to you. We're coaching you on the calls. You got a hell of a head start here. But keep thinking about these questions, thinking about these processes, and keep talking. Keep talking to us. Keep talking to your clients. You're going to be incredibly surprised about how fast you advance here. I mean, you were just talking to Christine. She's already doing 3 a day. And that's been a week.
Yes.
So,
Fantastic.
yeah, I mean,
It's there. Yeah.
it's all there. It's all there. Trust me, in a few days, you're going to realize, oh my God, I was making it way more complicated than it needs to be. That's the world, man. You just got to make it easy.
Yeah.
Make it easy, and people will take that route if they choose to. If they don't choose to, then that's them.
And I got folks that I can kind of pick up on what they're
Right.
doing. And
Right. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So we learn by doing here. We learn by getting you a lot of reps. So it's okay. You will mess up.
Yes, sir.
We all mess up. They're all learning experiences.
Yeah, hang-ups or,
Par for the course.
folks screaming at you.
Par for the course. Par for the course.
Yeah.
A lot of people have issues getting into this business because they are putting undue stress on themselves, because when a client or a potential client freaks out and because a lot of these people we talk to, they've already been getting calls. They've already had a bad experience with several different organizations. They haven't talked to us yet. When that happens and that lash out happens, that person that's in pain lashes out at us, they freak out because they think they're going to get in trouble by us. And it just doesn't happen here. It's part of the learning experience. And, you don't have to worry about that consequence. I need people to act ethically and legally. And I need people to operate in the best interest of their clients, because that leads to the best interest of our organization as a whole. It doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and go, you know what, if you use this close, it would have, and then chastise you for that. I'm not doing that. That's not going to help you.
Yeah, so, I'm going to have to get out there, and the better I do, the better for me,
Yeah.
all around anyway, like anything else, but still, yeah, it's in my best interest to just, hang in there and build it up, slowly build it up.
Right.
And again, yeah.
None of our egos here are big enough to think that we have to co-opt your success and drive. I don't need to do that. I don't need to make a very complicated training process to validate how smart I am.
To nurture me in that respect.
It doesn't help. You have all the training materials available to you at any time. Great. But to put you into a situation where you have to go through it just to satisfy our ego, that doesn't work. Get out there and do it.
Like I'm your Frankenstein or something.
Right. No, just who am I doing it for? If I bring you into a class for 3 weeks and teach you everything down to the detail about sales and the way I sell, what is that? Who does that help? Who's that for? Is it for you? Because it really doesn't work out really well for a lot of people that do that.
Understood. And it's just lost time. And,
You're going to have your own thing. You're going to have your own success. You have your own way of doing things, and people. You haven't had.
I pick up on things.
Well,
I might piecemeal some learned, of course, but again, yeah.
Bottom line is, you've never been run out of town by a bunch of people with pitchforks and torches. So I'm pretty sure you can talk to people, right? And that's your way of talking to people. The way you engage with people is going to be the way you engage with people. That grows and evolves over time, and it becomes your thing. But too often we look at people, and by the way, we have scripts and we have architectures of conversation, but ultimately that's your relationship with that person. So I can't over script it because it's not real and genuine at that time. Right? So
yeah, it's not robotic. It's still engaging.
yeah, you should know that. I'm in greeting. I have a goal of this. Now it's time to get the control question so I can verify this information. Now I got to check the decision maker. Now I'm going to reinforce that I can help you out and you're in the right place. Now I can tell you about our organization and me, which is the A in CAP. Then we can get into discovery. Then we can do prepared state. We can do all these other things. That's great. But to get on you about, you need to say it exactly like this. No, man, we're not doing that here. I'm not going to, if having people.
It still doesn't always help. It's one of those things where at any rate, even having, the certain, type of just overall individual, mindset, but just learning and picking up and just just sometimes it works. Sometimes
it works.
Yeah. There might be something, I might get someone from California that just doesn't like me, or just doesn't click with me.
That's fine.
I've had people on the phone where they're, I've had, you get weird calls. Sometimes you just get weird calls, but.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens. Yeah. Bottom line is we hire people to have conversations with people.
Yeah. And I do like it. Yeah, it's one thing I kind of like being on. I do like being on the phone. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be in Medicare sales if I didn't.
Well, even the guy, I'm running into this conversation a whole lot. Even the guys that like face-to-face sales and closes, they're still on the phone.
Yeah.
They just don't close the deal on the phone. They still got to set appointments. Yeah. They still got to do all that. They do. It still amazes me how many guys, and it's a different sale type. I've done face-to-face sales. I've done some Medicare face-to-face sales. Very few of them, but it is a different type of sale than selling exclusively over the phone. And it's one of those things where it's a different skill set. I get it. They're all same in some aspects, but you get a lot more tools without having to say anything when you're face to face, right?
Yeah.
Over the phone, you got to do that.
Visual
body language, maintaining eye contact, gesticulation of your hands to put, emphasis on certain things, right? There's all those things there.
Well, it's like if we were to have, let's say we had a marketing event at, St. David's, hospitals, some kind of physicians meeting or some,
yeah.
or the local, seniors activity center, and we bring our cardboard cutouts or some pamphlets, and you're really in there. To look at it in that respect for Medicare demographic, that's a whole other thing, totally different.
Yeah, but I mean, the bottom line is that we can get all the glitz and the glamour and little bells and whistles on all that stuff. When you get it out of the way, it's two people or more communicating with each other about problems that need to be addressed and how we address those problems. And that human interaction, while we can give you all the aids and the guidelines for those humanly possible, I can't script how you're going to help people the best way you can. Right? And that's it. How you're going to get along with this one person in this one situation. How you're going to build that rapport. What conversations you're going to have about their life that really matter about their decision-making process.
In that respect, it's almost like, if I'm on the phone, that's there, but, They are real people with real lives.
Real people. That's why we hire real people to talk to real people.
Sure.
So they want to talk about fishing for an hour. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? If it endears you to them and they can really associate. I've sold people for the very concept of the most important thing in their life was enjoying the time they had with their family, doing the thing they love. And in fact, one of them was fishing, like going up to Montana and doing steelhead. Wants to make sure he can go do that. That's his one thing. He needs flexibility to go anywhere he wants in the country so he can follow fishing. And his wife loves to fish too. That's what they want. They want to be able to go to any trip, and if they hook themselves or if they get sick, they know they're taken care of anywhere so they can go fishing. So maybe we should talk about fishing.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what matters to them. And me understanding that, it's way better than talking about, well, it covers the excess charges. Oh, and by the way, did you know that days 21 through 100 is covered 100% for skilled nursing? They don't care about that stuff. They care about, hey, you're going out there, you're going fishing, you slip on a rock, break your ankle, every place is covered. You're fine.
And you know what they're getting is what they need.
Right. And they know that I'm the person that understands them. That's what's really important. And they don't question you when you know that you really care about them and you understand them.
It's exactly what you mentioned earlier about knowing that they're gonna be in the best. No ambiguity.
That's right.
Don't guess.
Don't guess. They buy certainty. They buy certainty. They buy certainty from people that have have shown a vested interest in their well-being. You have to be interested in them in order to be interesting to them. So anyway.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I say we've had a great talk, but I think it's about time I get back on the phone.
Okay.
So you got anything else for me?
No.
All right.
I'll
Well,
just
guys,
keep digging away on those readings.
dig away on it. Also, don't forget to go sign up for Get Your Insuralink. If you need to get a link to that, I'll go ahead and send it to you.
Okay.
And also, guys, don't forget, go sign up for your Insuralink account. Also, if you have any questions about us, want to see the new progress that we're making on a new products for you, or what's coming down the pipeline, don't hesitate. You can go to, what's that? Do we have that link up there? The Insurasales link or the Medicare Gurus link? My Gurus, all that good stuff. Okay. So make sure that if you guys go to www.insuralink.com, or you can call us on our main line, which is 844-694-8787 or 844-MY-GURUS. We'll be able to go ahead and help you out any way possible. Other than that, guys, you guys have a wonderful day. Good job selling, and keep it up.